Shukadev Goswami talking to Maharaj Parikshit. Usually, but not always, because sometimes there are other sages that are also talking to kings. So, but here it's like that. So okay, that's a very good question. Did any of these like stand out to you? Like, oh wow, that's interesting.
Quantum perspiration.
Yes. So those are the bacteria, basically. Yes. Yes.
I feel like I got called out.
Yeah. So those. Let me explain who the Unmada really are. So it's not just like, oh yeah, like this person is a lunatic. It's like, oh my God, he's a lunatic. It's really the Unmada are in Ayurveda. They know that there are like different diseases, right? So they talk about how some diseases, like lunatism, being a lunatic, can sometimes come from possession of people that, and these are the spirits. The Unmada that they're talking about here are those spirits that possess people that make them go crazy. Any others that stood out to you? So, how about this one? The Matrit, the inhabitants of Matriloka. You've heard of the Pitriloka? Have you heard of the Matriloka? Yes, they are the goddesses. The goddesses of that are like the representation of motherhood, of fertility, of nurturing. These are it is said that they're assistants to Durga Devi. But when generally they talk about like let's the mothers and like that they in yoga like that they're referring to the matris. So it's not all chauvinistic males. Oh, the Pitriloka, yeah, great. No, there's also the Matriloka. Yes.
The Pitriloka, Pitri refers to the fathers, but I thought it was forefathers, and I thought that included all the ancestors.
Generally, yes. So yeah, it's not like, oh, the fathers go here and the mothers go there. No. and the ones that are in between, where do they go? Like, no, that's not. So the Pitris, when they talk about Pitris, it's like in general, like your ancestors, right? But these matris, these mothers, are a special category of goddesses. But yes. No, that's different. Those are direct expansions of Durga Devi. But these matris also help them in fighting with the demons. So they are also protectors in that sense. So don't cross them. Like they're mothers like that, but they're fierce as well. Shakti. They're representation of Shakti, really. So yeah, you don't want to get in front of. What was that? This has more to do with this idea of nurturing fertility. Mothers in general of the world. Also, there are some here that are very interesting. Like, okay, probably you've heard some of these, but like, for example, who are the Chanaras? You've heard of the Chanaras. Who are the Chanaras? Chara, which means to like walk. They're the walking bards. So they will go around singing the glories of the demigods. So those are like the Chanaras. Which other do we have here? The Pishachas. You've heard of the word Pishacha? Maybe, what's that? You've probably heard that this, You're sleeping on the lap of Maya, on the witch in Jeep Jago, right? If you, the word that Narottam Das Thakur uses there for Maya is pishacha. When he calls her a witch, it's pishacha, who is also a pisacha that is very famous in Krishna's pastime. Utana. These are generally flesh-eating ghosts. Those are the pisachas. She ate children. So these are the pisachas. The pretas. Pretas. What's that? Hungry ghosts, yes. They're said to have like huge bellies and very small mouths, and they're always hungry and always thirsty. And generally, when you do the pindas, that's where you you're trying to liberate these people. For example, okay, bless you. Kushmanda. Kushmanda are interesting. Here they're translating it as will of the wisp, but it's like, who are the will of the wisp? Really, the Kushmandas, they're these beings that, bless you, that are they are born from fire. And they're not so friendly. So there's the Betalan, which here they translate as jinn. Jinn is an interesting because jinn actually is an idea that comes from Islam. Have you ever heard of the genie in the bottle? It's actually coming not from genie that he's so clever. No, it's coming from jinn, and it's this is from Islam and pre-Islamic culture, and generally these betalan, they're not so friendly beings. They're ghosts. They have very they're very strong with powers, and let me see. Yeah, and they actually like to be in cemeteries because they possess the undead.
They shapeshifters?
Yes, but the interesting thing is that they take the dead and they it's like you talk about zombies. They had zombies in the Vedas, the Betalan. They take the undead and they animate them. They use them like that. So yeah, answers to all questions. That's the Bhagavatam. Now there are so many more here like that, but the interesting thing about this verse here is that it talks about like, do you see like the wide range of bodies that you can take? These are according here. Why do they say that? How do you get these? First line, very first line. What does it say? It says, yeah, no. Yes. From 37 to 40. Yes. How do you get these? How do you get to become any of these things? From past deeds. Association with the modes of nature is what does it. Let's read the following the following verse. Who wants to read this verse? Yes.
According to the different modes of feeling, mode of goodness, mode of action, mode of darkness, there are different living creatures who are known as demigods. So given a particular mode of nature, we mix with the other two, divided into three, and thus each kind of living creature is by the other modes and acquires its status on its own.
Okay. Can you help me bring the chart? I'd like to show you something, because here they're talking about something. Yes.
There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita that says that's the worship.
Exactly. So it's all about association here. What do you associate? If you're constantly thinking, like about or getting into like that mode. Generally, like for example, the people that you will see some people that like to wear all black. Everything, their fingernails are black. They're wearing all black, and they're listening to a specific type of music that is also dark, and they will go around looking at you like this. Mm-hmm. So they're associating with a specific mode, right? Then there are those, are completely. They have like very thick glasses, and they're too proper, and that no, I don't do anything physical, and just they're associating with a specific mode as well. So, and you can see all of these different types within human nature. All of these, you will eventually see that they will go to their different places because they're associating with, and where how does that come? It just comes from you paying attention. It's like what are you paying attention? What is your consciousness delving into? Now, here it talks about the different modes. So I wanted to show you like a little bit graphical representation of these different things that we have done at the Bhaktivedanta Institute, and that will be shown in the TOVP later. So has anybody ever seen a Cartesian plane? What is that? What's that? Cartesian plane. Yes, you have. Yeah. Cartesian plane. What is that? Has anybody ever played so if anybody has ever played Battleship, right? What do you have? A grid, X and Y, where you have different things here, right? And you say, 3-1, or like 1-1-2, like that. And you can tell in every single, at any point in here can be described by a combination of these two, right? And if there are 3 axes, then it's 3-dimensional, right? Now, so there's 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z, right? Oh yeah, you came to a science class today. So any point on this space will be a combination of these 3, right? Now, what if instead of calling it X, Y, Z, I call it goodness, passion, and ignorance? Let me put it in more suggestive for later on. Goodness all the way up to the top, passion and ignorance, right? Then every point in here will be a representation of those, and any combination, any possible combination of the 3 modes will be a point here. Do you see that? Now, if I want to make it such that it's meaningful, it's actually only a triangle, because I want to go from 0 to 100%, right? To go like 7,000. It's like, well, what does that mean? Let's just go from 0% to 100%, right? So, and here, this would be like 100, 0, 0, right? And this would be like 0, 100, 0, right? And this would be like 0, 0, 100. Everybody follow so far? Okay. So and it's actually not the whole volume. It's just this plane, just this plane, because we wanted to so that x plus y plus z equals 100, right? So basically, we can just take this and just put it here, and it's just this triangle where we have like 100, 0, 0. That's goodness, and passion and ignorance, the same thing, right? Which we just said here. So any point in here is a possible combination of x, y, and z, and they all add to 100. Now, in this plane, I can divide it into sections, right? And each one of these sections can be a specific species, where these species here, what kind of species are the ones here? Yes, trees, which are like full of ignorance, right? So here, you would have your like trees and your mountains, also mountains, etc. Right? Around here. What would be around here? What's it? I'm sure they're very much.
Those are damagers, not matters.
But here, around here, will be humans. We're in the mode of passion, if you have noticed. And what do you think is somewhere up here? What's that? Demigods and sages, right? Probably more sages than demigods. Demigods would be like more tending towards here, right? So let's make that more suggestive here. So demigods would be like more here, right? Where because they have a lot of passion, right? Sages are more sattvic. And what would you say around here? Around the same thing, demigods, but on the other side. Asuras. Because they're like that, like because of the fact that they're still in goodness like that, because when you come up here, you start having powers. The mode of goodness gives you powers. If you do if you start doing all of these meditations that the yogis do, you develop the powers. It gives you clarity. It gives you all of these things. But they're not really using it properly, right? They're more into the mode of ignorance, and so maybe also towards the mode of passion, like that. So the thing is, within this, you can put all of the different 8,400,000 species. And even within, like, for example, when I say humans, that is this sector here, there are sectors that are more sattvic, and there are sectors that are more in ignorance. And what are we doing throughout lifetime after lifetime? Exactly. We're just going around being pulled by different things. You came to this world, like a very in a very nice South Brahmin family, very sattvic, and because of that, you got a very good intelligence, and you decided, I'm going to study IT in America. And you came to America, and you started drinking, you started partying, you became a mess, right? Because of your association. And then what happened? From that goodness, you went to passion. And because because of all that bad, thank you. Because of all that bad thing, then your grades started, going down. Your girlfriend left you and like that. And then what happened? You started drinking yourself silly, doing drugs and all that, and then you went to ignorance. And so by the end of this lifetime, what happens? Because you forgot all about your heritage like that, and you decided to avoid the devotees. Then you go to some other place in ignorance. The amazing thing is that, the Mahamantra pulls us towards goodness, towards pure goodness. That is not hindered by ignorance or passion. Shuddha sattva, it's called. So, oh my God, look at the time. Okay, let's go to the next one. Text 42, is it?
The personality of God as the maintainer of all in the universe appears in different incarnations after establishing the creation. Thus, he reclaims all kinds of souls amongst the non-humans.
So, Janma Karma Chamedivyam, right? This is why Krishna comes, to reclaim all of the lost souls. Anywhere you are there, he wants you. Right? Text 43.
Thereafter, at the end of the millennium, the Lord himself in the form of Buddha destroyed the calamity of complete creation as the Buddha states.
Yeah. So we talked about creation, and he is also the destroyer, as Lord Rudra, Lord Shiva. Next.
The great transcendentalists thus describe the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the pure devotees deserve to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features.
Oh my God, look at that sentence. It says, they describe the activities, this of creation, maintenance, and destruction, right? But the pure devotees deserve to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features, right? Most people, they just understand God as creator, maintainer, and destroyer. And that's all they want to know from him. The devotees know that there is something more to God. It's like if you're in taking a class at UF, right? And all you know about the person speaking in front of you is that he's a teacher. He's a professor. There's more to him in life than just that. There's a whole personality behind him. He has likes, he has dislikes. For example, the greatest physicist in the 20th century, well, after Einstein, right, was Richard Feynman, right? And he created the most interesting, the most successful theory of physics, which is quantum electrodynamics. It's an awesome theory, but it's also super complicated. And he used to play the bongos. That is something cool. He used to sometimes go with his neighbor who was an Italian. He would just go like, he didn't know any Italian, but he would go like, hey, but hey, like that, like just like that, like gibberish. And the neighbor would respond in Italian. But he would just like, and so he had this very interesting, very rich personality to him, and which he also wrote in his autobiography. What was it? Surely you must be kidding, Mr. Feynman. That was his autobiography. So if you just know that he is a professor like that, you might miss like all of these like very interesting things about him. Now, if all we know and all we care about knowing about God is that he is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer, like what does God do? Oh, he created the universe. Okay, that's good. So at least you got that. But what else? How can you develop love for somebody you don't know? The first commandment says, to love God above all things like that. Good. That's good. But how do you get to love a person that you have not, that all you know about is that, his work is creating, maintaining, and destroying, and not even like all the details about it. Yes.
I think it's called the halo effect. Like you approach them differently based on that one characteristic. So it like overshadows everything else. Okay, so I think I have a name.
Yeah. You don't even know his name. It's like, oh yeah, Mr. President. Oh, professor. You don't even know his name. Professor what? Right? President what? So we get a lot of these things through the Vedas, which is amazing because then this is what the pure devotees want. Let me know about his dealings with his devotees, which are so sweet. Then I can fall in love with him. Like, wow, he's really like that. Hanuman did, what for Lord Ram, and how did Lord Ram, embrace him after that? Like, it melts your heart. The way that Krishna treated Sudama, like just massaging his feet and saying, like, "Hey, do you remember when we were kids? And we went to get this thing, and we got caught in the rain like that." It's so sweet. We get to know that about the Vedas, and then we fall in love with God. It's like, yeah, I want to be with him. Text 45. So this is the one about engineering. So Shruti talked about, there is no direct engineering by the Lord for the creation, destruction of the material world. What is described in the Vedas about his interference is simply to counteract the idea that material nature is the creator. Let's just read a little bit of the purport. Would somebody like to read?
The Vedic direction for the creation, maintenance, and destruction of your world is this. Gatova Mani, Mani, Gayante, Gatan, Van, Gatayan, Avisam, everything by Brahman, after creation, everything by Brahman, after annihilation, listen to you without any knowledge of Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan, your nature, the ultimate cause of the material manifestation. And the modern scientist also shares this view. The material nature is the ultimate cause of all manifestations of the material world. This is refuted by all Vedic literature. Vedanta, philosophy, Brahman, fountainhead of all creation, destruction, non-Bhagavatam, natural comment on the Vedanta philosophy says, Janmati Asya Gato Bhagat Iparatas Partes Abhishanam Bharat.
Okay, thank you. let's here. This is a long purport because when Prabhupada talks about impersonalists or scientists, he really likes to get into it. those are generally you'll see those are the longest purports where he just like he says that these are his purports are his ecstasies. Here he's going into those ecstasies like yeah, like here it is, because he understands that this is what people are doing. Atheistic scientists are trying to pass these ideas that, oh yeah, it's all if you're if you're actually a thinking person, you can't be into any type of religion, because this is dumb. And it's like, no, hold on, like how? Let's look at this a little bit further. It says here that the modern scientist also shares this view that material nature is the ultimate cause of all manifestations. Back in, we just saw the Cartesian plane. Do you know who made that Cartesian plane? Descartes. Cartesian, Descartes. And Descartes, he's also the one that said, exactly. So, he was a philosopher back in the 1600s. That was also a mathematician. Everybody did everything back then. If you were an intellectual, you did everything. So he was a mathematician, a philosopher, and all that. And he was against this other guy that was called John Locke. Now, Descartes used to say that there are these two things. There's matter and spirit, and they're different. But John Locke said, no, there's only one thing, matter. And from matter, everything comes. Does that sound familiar? So there was a debate back then, which one is right. And Descartes was really pushing, this idea that, they're different. They interact, but they're different. The problem was that Descartes could not really say how they interact. How, what is the mechanism by which they interact? So who ended up, quote unquote, winning the argument? John Locke. And that's why most of science nowadays talks about, everything arises from, because he just had a way of explaining things. Now, if Descartes had traveled to India, though, he would have encountered something very interesting. To this day, we already know what that link between the matter and non-matter is. Does anybody know about it? What is that link? What is it? How is it that matter can? No. What's that? No, the antimatter is still matter. What's that? No. Yes, but that is like, we're talking now like spirit, right? Talking more like subtle material, just like mind, intelligence, false ego. Prana, right? If you've ever done pranayam, you know that with breathing, the body can control the mind, right? And if anybody has done martial arts, they know that the mind can also, with the prana, the chi, the ki, can manifest, things that are normally not usual, with the body, right? And that if you stop the prana, if you stop the chi, right? For example, has anybody ever been chanting and suddenly right? What happened? You stopped your prana. And when you stop the prana, your consciousness is no longer there in your limbs, because consciousness flows with the prana. If you stop the prana, you know, even though you're hitting it, you can barely, feel it. You can barely move it. But as soon as the prana starts moving again, okay, now I can go. Did you stop the circulation? Not really, because your foot didn't go blue, right? Did you stop the nerves? That sometimes they say that that it was the nerves. No, because as soon as you let go, it would just immediately go back, right? It was the prana that you stopped. and that needs to like flow again, flow through that. And so prana, when we talk about that, the soul is here in the region of the heart, right? But you're feeling yourself all over. Why? Because the consciousness is flowing through that prana and allowing you to go. And that prana takes messages from the body to the mind, and from the mind to the body. Yes. You're just blocking it, right? You're blocking the flow. What does traditional Chinese medicine do? They put all of these needles, right, in special places to allow the flow to just go better like that. When you talk to all of these people that do healing like that, what are they doing? That they're allowing. Do you have a blockage in your chakras and like that? What are chakras? Chakras are just centers where a lot of energy. But what is that? What is that energy? It's prana. We talk about the energy. No. Nobody ever talked in the Vedas about energies. They talked about prana. They never talked about the frequencies. No, they talked about gunas. Yes.
There's a statement I really like for this whole concept. I agree that realistic scientists are like there's this, I love this quote. It says, that holy tree upside down, branches in the ground, roots in the sky, open third eye, how fast that makes the ground.
Die.
But like it helps me to just, instead of looking up to the sky, basically turn around. Okay, that's down and this is up. And like what I really want to do is like dive into the earth and ground myself. That way I can go live instead of feeling like I'm trying to escape into nothingness.
That's a very good way to connect to the earth. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And where you put your attention, you'll also be connecting to the different modes. And that's why, that you start getting into that. If you notice, like even like some people that are like that are like really gobs, right? They will even like sometimes deform their bodies. Like they will put all these prosthetics like underneath their skin, that they will have like horns. They will do. They want to look like that. So material nature says like, okay, you want that? We can give you that for real. And some people, they're really trying to like look beautiful and like that, and we can do that. You can go to these heavenly places where you can like be beautiful. It all happens. It all depends on what you're associating with and what your karma is. So those two things. Let's go. Oh no, we're out of time. So let me just say let me just say that to finish this. After talking all these interesting things, Sutta Goswami then Shanika Rishi asks Sutta Goswami, okay, so change topic. So you talked about Vidura previously, right? How he left the Kurus and all that, and he just left. He gave it all up. Can you tell me more about that? And can you tell me about the conversations between him and Maitreya Rishi? And that is going to bring in 2 cantos. That's going to, we finished now here with this canto, and then those conversations of Vidura with Maitreya are going to span cantos 3 and 4, and they're going to have so much fun talking about all the awesome things like that, including the nature of time, which I don't have time right now to talk about. Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Gaura Premanande. I'm here. Sorry.
I think the real highlight was, for me, definitely because we pointed out that vibrational frequencies is actually talking about. Yeah.
The thing is that here's the thing. So, and if you notice, people that like to talk about the things that are esoteric generally try to connect to some science to explain what is going on. So a lot of these things about frequencies and all that actually just comes from jargon that came from the late 1800s and early 1900s, when they were discovering things like frequencies and all that, and higher dimensions also, like with Einstein. All of that is like late 1800s, early 1900s. But previously, they never talked about that. If you want to like really use the jargon of these things, you talk about like what are the different states of consciousness? Oh, the different frequencies. No, you're talking about the different levels of gunas. Higher is you could talk about like being like sattva, like that. Lower being more towards ignorance. When people talk about these what is it? What is it, like another term that they like to use? Yeah, like dimensions. Generally, they're referring to like physical dimensions like that. Well, what if it's dimensions of consciousness? Dimensions that are that span from consciousness rather than from space and time. And that actually space and time are subject to consciousness. That's something that has not been researched enough.
Yeah, so
Jai, I'll be here over breakfast. So if you want to talk, if you want to geek out, Chaira Vidyajan, Rendriya Sahika, Yepele Saya Sadade, Aramadivayati, Lobamasidu, Nake Jeta Katina Samsare, Krishna Bhaja Dayamoy, Kari Bhaji Bhaja, Swaprasadhan Hilobhai, Sayanam Vitapao, Radha Krishna Gunadao, Preme Dato Chaitanya Nitai, Janima Janitai, Shila Prabhupada, Toda Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai.